Welcome back to Sapphire's Unscripted. Apologies that we haven't posted this weekend. Robin had his birthday, and myself, I was off sick. I wasn't even at work. I haven't filmed for Casual Bars Rugby, nothing, right? But we're back again. Robin, we did the unthinkable. We filmed another in-person podcast, so stay tuned for that one. That will come out next week because obviously there's no rugby for that time. But I want everyone to just join in. And I want to say thank you to Robin for jumping in onto Sapphire's Unscripted. A happy birthday to you. Obviously, what was that, on Tuesday? And just as a gift to Robin, be like us, fans of the game, come together. Remember to like and subscribe. We do appreciate you, Robin. Thanks for jumping in, my man. How are you doing this week? Have you recovered after the bit of drinking? Because we know you like your dope. I saw it on Saturday again. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks for the birthday wishes again. I spent the last weekend with Casual, obviously shooting that in-person podcast, and then we went out for my birthday a couple days before. My birthday was actually on Tuesday, and then spent some time with the family over the week. Just celebrating further. So my head is a little bit sore, but I've recovered, and I'm ready to get into this podcast and chat a bit of Boca rugby again.
Yeah, well, we had a good recovery on Sunday, right? Because we thought we were going to lay there in bed and frot until we played about 3 hours of paddle in corduroy pants and other people's shoes, other people's clothes, other people's paddles, and we had a couple of cheeseburgers from McDonald's. That is a proper recovery session, right? So I don't know what you did during the week to recover from Tuesday, but as you said, we're going to talk about the Boca rugby. We haven't done our review on the Italy game, so we'll speak about that. Get some talking points around the Rassie antics, if you could say it like that. Then look forward to the game against Georgia, the team selection, obviously a massive miss for the likes of Evan Roos. And then we'll just have a quick discussion around the British and Irish Lions versus the Wallabies. That's obviously the first test is taking place this weekend. So let's cut to the chase. 45, was it 45-0? 43-0 against Italy?
Yeah, 45.
Young Guns, B team. We don't really do the B team, but B team came out and smashed them. Do we give credit to the Young Guns coming out there and showing some hunger and class, or do we just say, well, this is one of those cases where Italy showed heart and fighting spirit for 1 week and then kind of, as expected, dropped off on the second week?
Yeah, well, it has to be a bit of fighting spirit, because soon enough, Rassie's going to have to choose his 35-man squad to go into the Rugby
Next week.
Championship. Yeah, next week. So probably find a lot of those guys that maybe feel it's touch and go 50-50 for them, try to put up their hand in that game and gave it their all. So I feel we're going to see this weekend coming as well. A lot of people putting in a big shift to try and sort of persuade or sway Rassie's decisions one way or the other. And then another thought from that game, Manie Libbok at 10. Casual, what did you think of Marnie's game? I know that you've had some critique in the past about your Marnie thoughts. So let me know what you thought about his game.
Well, for the people that are new here, right? The older people that's been following the channel from the start would know. I've always liked Manie. I think he's one of the most underrated players that we've got. And I feel like no one can run the back line like Manie does in terms of his kicking. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Andre and Sasha. I think both of them are sensational players, right? So everything that I say is not taking away from those two, just to make it clear. But last season, when I spoke so much about how we need to give Manie some consistent game time in that 10 jersey to run the show and stuff, people were talking about how bad he is as a player. And then I ask, what's bad about him as a player? And then they keep referencing his goal kicking. And I was just like, well, someone that doesn't kick well to goal doesn't make him all of a sudden a bad player. Obviously, he's as a 10, mostly you kick at goal, right? But when Bowden Barrett a few seasons ago kicked like a stinker, they just got someone else to kick at goal, right? We've got more than enough guys that can kick at goal. And I just feel the way that he runs the ball, the passing that he does is sensational. And now all of a sudden that his kicking technique's better again. Now everyone can actually watch his game instead of being nervous when he kicks at goal. Now they're seeing like, well, Marnie's actually sensational. And all the shit that I got was like, Andre has to take that 10 jersey. Andre. Now it's like other people are saying in the comments, Andre has to take that 10 jersey. And like 90% of the replies on that one comment would be, oh, he's too old. He can't run the back line like Marnie does. All of a sudden, now Marnie's got all of the love, which is crazy to me because it's like everything was based just purely around his kicking in the past. Where it's like, just take his game. That's obviously what's the main part of a rugby player. How he plays rugby. He's good in defense, underrated in defense. His attack is sensational. He sees a gap. He's a threat, whether he passes, kicks, or runs it himself. He is a great, great player. I'm not saying he should start every game, but he's still a quality player. I didn't like everyone just jumping on Marnie to say he's a shit player, purely referencing just his kicking game. In my opinion, I would still most likely go Sasha to start, 100 from the bench. I mentioned it previously on a podcast that we had. Just spoke about Andre has kind of got to be involved when the game comes down to those last final kicks. If we're playing against the likes of Argentina or stuff, usually those games shouldn't come down to a final kick. Then I'd go like start Marnie, bring Sasha off the bench or something like that, right? But when you're playing against the All Blacks, where you probably know most likely it's going to be a nail biter, you want that golden boot, the Iceman on the bench. So I would have Andre involved there. But I just feel like Marnie offers you something so different, gets the best out of everyone in that back line. And we saw it literally this weekend against Italy. I mean, everyone got a touch of the ball. He put guys through gaps. He was a threat himself. I mean, he's got a rocket of a pass. I just think Marnie is a sensational player. And I love that he's getting his credit now. Basically, that's what it all boils down to. Just love the fact that Marnie's finally getting some love after he's had probably 2 very tough seasons in terms of people jumping on his back for his kicking duties, because this is the same guy that went into the World Cup alone as the only fly-off and carried us until the quarterfinal. Well, he played well in the quarterfinal against France even, and then obviously had a stinker in the semi-final. So you could still probably talk about the big games thing, but just overall as a player, love him getting his flowers there.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's also important to note in the past few games or couple of games he's played, it looks like his goal kicking has actually improved. I mean, he's slotting some really hard kicks from the corner, especially in that second half. So kudos to him. I think he has adjusted a bit of his kicking style. I don't know who's working with him, but you
You
can
played
definitely
10,
see a
right?
difference. Yes, correct.
Were you a kicking 10?
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that was my strength. I wouldn't say I was a
So you were
80%.
kind of like the Marnie running the show, but they're not really the goal kicker.
Yeah, basically, I was good at kicking out of hand and that sort of stuff, but my goal kicking I wouldn't say was my strength. But I know how the goal kicking can affect you as a fly off. Um, so it's good to see that he's been working on his kicks. You can see it in his form and his approach to the ball. It's a lot different. I think I saw a side to side clip of him, how he's kicking now as to opposed to in the World Cup, and there is noticeable differences. So I think even the more and more or the better he gets at his goal kicking, you're just going to see how the rest of his game just gets elevated.
Yeah.
So
He looks
I
like a
hope
guy
for that.
playing with confidence at the moment. As if Rassie
Yeah.
has told him they back him. And I mean, that's what you want to hear as usually a game flows around your 10. Your 9-10 combo kind of, you find a lot of the forwards in the back line. He puts the forwards for their momentum of the game. He gets the back line moving as well. Like, if you have a 10 playing with confidence, there's not much more that you could possibly ask for. So, as I said, it's purely just love for Marnie, not taking away from the other two. Because I can see a world where it's still Sasha and Andre, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. I just don't want us to shit on Marnie while talking the others up. That's kind of the whole point to it. Was there any other standout performances for you in that Italy game? Kind of guys that we were looking forward to, that you would feel put up their hand.
Yeah, I mentioned a couple episodes ago, I'm really keen to see Edward van der Merwe back in a Bok jersey. He was very impressive. Another person to add to the Scrum Cap Mafia. So
Yeah, there you go.
it's always good to have a backup for Chesney and Arendse. And I say backup lightly, because who knows, if he keeps on putting up his hand, he might push the boundaries and replace one of them.
Yeah, he's got to push the boundaries hard because, I mean, Kirkley Arons and Cheslin Colby, they're kind of like in a realm of their own. I mean, if you're in a team where you're keeping out Kanan Moody and Edwulf van der Merwe, you've got a pretty class team on your hands right there. Peter Steff came back like he never left. He was sensational in that game. Ruan Orkia, I thought he had a great game as well, really involved. One guy that was really looking forward to that probably didn't put up his hand, but he's getting another shot this weekend. Tomo the Tank to Toy. That was a tough day at the office for good old Tomo. How many minutes did he play? Like 29, 28 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah, just shy of 30 minutes. Yeah, I feel sometimes, props don't always get the knack for the game, and then they might start a bit slow. Rassie obviously identified that, brought Ox on, and the scrums went a lot better. I'm glad to see Thomas is getting another chance coming off the bench, so hopefully he can replicate what Ox did over the weekend and bring some real, dominance when he comes on.
Yeah, fair enough. But obviously the big talking points from this weekend, and we have to discuss it. The kickoff, and then secondly, the lineouts from a breakdown, or the moles from a breakdown. What's your thoughts on each of those? Start with the kickoff.
Okay, so I got a couple thoughts. Let's start with the kickoff. The kickoff, I don't know how to feel about it. The other one I'm fine with. The kickoff, there's a few things that is going on here. So in the rule book, it says a team cannot do something to put themselves at an advantage. However, in saying that, if the ref approaches the captain and says you will be penalized for this, basically what the ref is doing is saying, Italy, your scrum is cuck. That's basically what he's saying. So on one hand, yes, the whole world knows that's one of our strengths, so that's to our advantage. But rugby's rugby, a scrum's a scrum. Who cares? You know what I mean? But I don't like the fact that, you can conjure up something like that from the word go and get awarded a scrum. And ironically, we didn't actually win the scrum. We got a short arm against us. So yeah, I don't really know how to feel about that one. It's iffy for me.
Yeah, with the kickoff, I'm on the other side of the fence. Like I'm fine with kickoff, where I'm not as fine with the breakdown one, where we go into a maul from there, and I'll explain that in a second. Where it's like both teams still have the opportunity to scrum, right? They got the short arm, they could play. And I spoke to Rugby Ramblings yesterday, and it was like, well, if we try that against the likes of the All Blacks, fresh props, you're probably not going to scrum them backwards from the word go on the halfway line. If you give them a scrum on the middle line, they'll say, thank you very much, we'll take it from you, and they'll attack with their backline, get that ball out quickly and go. So we won't really try that against the top nations. I can't imagine us doing that against the top nations, giving them a scrum in the middle of the field, both sides that they can attack to. No. So whatever, right? We tried that. On the other hand, this is more like, I know it worked brilliantly. And it plays into our hands, this. But it's more so as kind of a ethics thing, or where I can see someone probably abusing it with the maul from the breakdown. It's lifting a player, bringing him down, and all of a sudden you've got a maul. Now, what stops the team? Let's say it's us against the All Blacks, us doing that 3-4 times in a row at every breakdown. So you get a maul, take a couple of guys out of the maul. After it gets sacked, you get the arm for the advantage, and you just do it again and again and again. And that team just keeps on having to defend mauls every single time. And the same with them doing it against us, right? Like, should rugby be like that? I don't know if I'm just being too harsh, right? Like, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that, but I'm sure you get what I mean. Like, a maul is a maul from line out, there you go. But to lift a guy, turn him around, and then keep on doing that the whole time, there's no opportunity for the other team to get the ball at any point, and he can just do it over and over and over and over and over again.
Well, there is opportunity. It's just how you defend it. So basically, Italy were baffled by it. They've never seen it before, so all they did was engage with the maul as per normal. But if you don't engage with the maul and you don't touch the jumper, they cannot proceed to go forward, and the jumper actually either has to turn around or give the ball to the scrum half and play it because there's no maul. And then
Can't he just turn around again and run straight?
He can turn around, but then he's going to run straight into a prop or whoever is defending as
but
per
you'll
normal.
still get proper gain line success. I'm talking about, imagine you 2 meters away. Are you really going to not compete to that and then have the guy just turn around and dive onto the try line?
Well, that's what I'm sort of getting at. There is a few ways. Another way is just to attack the lifting pod. So instead of engaging with the jumper, because that's the person you have to engage with for the maul to start, if you attack the lifting pod on the side and then sort of put your hands up and say they are obstructing you from making a tackle, you can try and get away with a penalty there. Or otherwise, as soon as you see them jump in the air, there's no offside lines yet. There's no ruck has been formed. You haven't engaged with the guy that's been lifted. You just run around the backside as if you were the scrum half of the opposing team and tackle him from there. There's no offside lines
so
whatsoever.
quickly. I can't imagine that taking place.
Well, now teams know. So as soon as they see that, I'm pretty sure they'll have a few ideas of what they should do. That would be my number one, is as soon as I see the lifting pod go up, the closest guy to the ruck, just run around, go tackle the guy as normal. That's the only way. If you're going to go from the front side, it's going to become a maul because he's got two guys holding him up. But if you just go around the back, you can just steal the ball from him. Those are the ways that you can try and combat it. I like the innovation, and I think you can add a bit of spice with it and use it for crossfield kicks.
Yeah, of course, yes. I'm not taking away anything from the innovation, right? Innovation that excites. I don't know where that slogan comes from, but it's used in South Africa. Now, it's nothing against innovation. I'm just thinking, like, to the extent where can this thing really be abused, where it kind of takes away a bit from the game. Like, I'm not saying get rid of it or anything, but I don't think it will be in the game for too long. I think World Rugby will probably try and step in there and try and figure out a way to say, no, you can't do that shit. But yeah.
They used to do it in the old days to block a kick for goal, and then that was ruled out. So kickers used to place kick to goal, and then they used to have a lifting pod to try and block the ball.
Oh, fair enough. Imagine a kick to the death that you've got like 4 guys in pods, like a lifting guy to make the stick like 2 meters higher. That's crazy. Anyway, looking forward to the Georgia game. I'm pretty sure you've seen the squad, right?
Yes.
No Ivan Roos. No Ivan. There's no Dwayne Vermeulen, who's obviously retired. Kwagga Smith is on the bench. There's no Cameron Hanekom. There's no Jasper Wiese, who got suspended. Brain dead. I don't like. Obviously, it wasn't. He didn't headbutt him. Let's just get that out of the way. It was more like a little voorkop soon, basically. But we've got no 8s, and Ivan's still not picked. So it's either one of 3 things. And what's going on in your head? It's either Rassie doesn't see Ivan as a talent that we're actually going to use, or he doesn't like Ivan personally, or an interesting thing is because we don't have any 8s, and we won't have any 8s for a little while, Rassie said, okay, we're not going to play him against Georgia because we want to save him for the rugby championship for in case something happens. But then on the other hand, on the third point that I've brought up, it's like, well, don't you want to see him actually play in that 8 jersey before we go into the rugby championship? Because one thing we can all say, and I know a lot of people don't like Ivan. I love Ivan. I think he's a great player. I think he's picked up his game a million times since that second season that he had, a breakthrough season. Then he had a big blip. Then picked up his game extraordinary. He had a very good game on Saturday. I know he only played about 20 minutes, but he was carrying hard, got involved in the game, was at every breakdown, tried to get turnovers. He was very, very good. So which one of those 3, because those are probably the most likely things, and the only things that I can probably think of, why would have been left out? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, the first one where you mentioned either he just doesn't like him. If that is true, maybe he just doesn't want to start him or play him at all against Georgia, because if he happens to play a fabulous, magnificent game, he's going to get so much pressure from everyone as to why he's not in the 35-man squad once that gets chosen. So that could also be an interesting reason. But he has come out in the press conference and said there's nothing personal, or like, it's not like he dislikes him or anything. So I don't know. Maybe he is resting him for the rugby championship because we, have a bit of an injury and headbutting crisis at that number 8 jersey. But, there's a lot of
I'll
reasons
be
maybe.
very, very, very surprised. Oh, well, the thing is, we will have an 8 because Jean-Luc Dupree is probably coming back.
Yeah.
He's just gone with maternity leave, right? For his wife or his girlfriend's childbirth. So he will be back, which probably would have said that Evan had to get a go in that 8 jersey. So now we're going into the 35. If Evan doesn't get selected, it's probably just going to be Jean-Luc Dupree. And then they want to see if Kobus Wiese can play in that 8 jersey. When I'm just like, surely, you would have given Evan Roos a run. It just makes no sense to in my head. He got viciously snubbed to not even be in the 50 when we picked 50 guys. It is crazy to me.
Just casually imagine like what's going through his head. It's actually sad to me. It's like Jasper starts at 8. He headbutts someone, and his brother gets to take his position, and you're still not in the team.
And you're the only 8, and you don't get selected to be in the team.
They've got a whole debutant front row.
And I don't want to hear about all this line-out jumpers. We want more line-out jumper options. Bro, we've got about 50 million locks, right? And we've got locks that play as Lucy's. If you really wanted to, you could throw on Franco Mostert, Sous as a Lucy. You can have, even it's a bit Luriager, right? And then Franco Mostert in the 6, Vincent Chuka in the 7, and Pieter Stef du Toit at 8. There's 5 line-out options for you right there. If you really wanted to do it like that, or you can switch it around, right? That's 5 line-out options there as well. You're not going to use 5 line-out options. There's only so many line-out moves that you probably want to do. It just makes no sense in my head as to why he hasn't gotten a run. Especially like you picked him in the second game against Italy. He had a great game. That 20 minutes that he was there, he did a great job. And still he doesn't get selected. Like, that's why in my head, it's just like either one of the 2 options. It's either Rassie doesn't fancy him as a talent, or he doesn't like him personally. And whatever it is, that's obviously Rassie's decision. But it just, you feel like Evan would probably feel very hard done by after that, because he had a sensational season. Like, I know there's people that don't like him, but then you don't watch him close enough. Because if you watch the Stormers, well, we had about 50 million injuries. He was the only guy performing. And we obviously, as Stormers fan, this is not even a biased thing, right? There's a couple of Stormers guys there that I would say, not that great. But Evan Roos is a standout for us week in, week out at the Stormers. Yes, he's not always performed for the Springboks, as a lot of people say, but what do you expect a guy to do if he plays one game every year and there? Edwell's an anomaly, right? But he plays on the wing. He just hits a gap and you put him through, and he's great at finishing. Evan Roos obviously has to do the hard yards and stuff. And sometimes, yes, he does try and do too much because he's trying to stand out and look for work in one game. How are you going to impress? So it's all well and good if you talk about him in a press conference. He's a hard worker. He's a good talent. But you're not giving him any flowers. The guy's not getting any minutes at all. It is crazy to me. It doesn't make sense. I don't want to keep on ranting about it. I just feel sad for Evan in this situation. Just my point.
Yeah, it's a sad time, especially when you look at people in the team that get captaincy and he's bang.
Referencing the video that went absolutely viral. Have you seen like Marky Owen from SA Rugby Mag? They spoke about the guy that actually made that video. Frosty's referencing a video of a guy on TikTok, social media, that went off on Salman Murad being captain for the Springboks. We spoke about him being scared, being bang. If you cuck, you cuck. I couldn't stop laughing at it, right? Because there's two ways to look about it. Like, obviously, the guy's a bit harsh, right? Doing a full-on hate video, right? Was it a hate video? I don't know, right? But he was very harsh. Very, very harsh, right? We don't agree with everything he said.
The guy was
But I'm
sweating.
kind of like, but Robin, this is actually a nice talking point, right? Because we said we want to grow the game. That's 300,000 eyes watching that video about a rugby game that we had. We make videos and we get people in our comment section. Everyone's got an opinion, but they want to hide behind the comment section and those type of things. But then as soon as a guy says it, right, even though you type it, it's as if you didn't say it, right? You want to type all these horrible things. Marnie's cock, Marnie miskop, right? Everyone wants to fully hate on someone until someone just says it. And now you want to jump on that guy and say he's being too harsh. Well, I'm just like, well, he's just kind of talking about his opinion. That's what we do as fans. We're not analysts. We're not pundits. We don't get paid by anyone to say the stuff that we say. This is purely our perspective on it, right? So people don't have to agree with my Marnie or my Ivan Roos thing. I think it's flabbergasting, but that's my opinion. Same with that one. If you don't agree with the Salman Murat thing, right? So what? That's that guy's opinion. What's the problem? Everyone wants to jump on the comment section, then it's fine, right? When we talk cuck about a guy, that's fine in the comment section. But as soon as you just say it, then it's wrong, right? When we say it at home, it's fine. But if someone else says it on social media, then all of a sudden, no, I like it. Do more of it. It's great. Don't just jump on someone, by the way. I'm talking about like everyone. Just your opinion's your opinion. Fucking say it. That's my 2 cents on it.
Funny.
I don't think people will like what I just said, to be honest.
I think that's a good take, to be honest. Say what you want to say. Obviously, under the purview of being sort of not being super nasty, but if you want to say what you want to say, at the end of the day, you watching the sport, you have your own opinion, but also understand that whatever you say is going to have a reaction. You might get a bad and negative reaction, and
Yeah.
if you're fine with that, then you're fine with it.
How
That
dare
guy-
he be so shit? How dare he be so shit?
Yeah.
If you're scared, just say you're scared. We'll make a plan.
That was a classic
It was
video.
gold. It was gold. Dude, I couldn't stop laughing. It was great. We literally turned off the music. We were listening to that rant in the car on our way to the battle. We turned off the music and watched that video about 4 times while eating Mackies. It was great. I loved it. I bring more of it. That's the whole point of it, right? Like, so what? Do we have any other talking points for the rugby, or are we going just quickly with the chat for the Lions versus the Wallabies?
I think it's important to say, obviously, brand new front row debutants.
Ooh,
If
yeah.
I'm correct, they all from Bloem. I think they've played for the Cheetahs as well together, or one of them were playing up there for the university. So they're going to have a big test. Georgia's known for big physical front row, especially quite a good dominant scrum. So that's going to be a real good test for your first game in international level. And then we've got some crazy pace in this backline. Like this is a really quick backline. So I'd like
You've
to
got
see
the
us spread the
youngsters to
ball.
start the game and then kind of the experienced guys to come off the bench. I mean, the average age on the bench is above 30, while we have Damien Willems, who's 26 or 27 on the bench to bring it down a bit. Bone Venter, Marnus van der Merwe, Nieting Forsier, big boys. Big boys. And then they get replaced by Bongi Manambi, Thomas the Twin, Vincent Koch. I mean, we're not really going to have any issues with that. That's pretty strong. What's the combination you're looking forward to? You're looking forward to seeing Grant Williams was great, by the way, last weekend. Sensational. Him and Sasha. That's exciting.
Yeah,
Period.
that's exciting. I'm excited for the centers as well. Diolindi and Moody playing alongside each other. A lot of the time, Moody's been playing with Esterhazen. So let's see how he plays with Damien. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. And then obviously Kurtley Arons, Edward van der Merwe, Scrum Cap Mafia, and then Apelile Fasio, I think is perfect for a game like Georgia. If we want to put a guy through a gap, I'm not going to say let's put Damien Willems or Veli through a gap. I'm saying put Apelile Fasio there. He's clinical. He's very good. Gas. Okay. Lions versus the Wallabies. Quick little 5-minute segment. What's your overall prediction for the 3-game series? Who are we backing, the Wallabies or the Lions?
I'm going Wallabies.
2-1.
For no particular reason. I just feel they have had a lot of critique over the years. Obviously, dropped their level quite a bit. They had a few good games last year, a couple surprises, and I think they're going to be firing for this one.
Yeah. The Lions need a series win, though. They do need it.
Yeah, I think, well, the last one was 2011, 13.
Yeah. And it was against the Wallabies as well. Probably a stronger Wallabies then, right? That was still a Wallabies team with Adam Ashley Cooper. James O'Connor played there. Israel Folau. Yeah. Hooper. Was Pocock still there? I can't even remember. But it was a very good Wallabies team. I'm also going with you, 2-1. But I'm kind of following my heart and not my head. I think overall, obviously, the Lions would be a stronger team. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We need a strong Wallabies team. You saw the quotes from Joseph Swali'i, who spoke and said this could fuel the next generation for the Wallabies, and we need them. Obviously, building up to a World Cup in Australia as well. We need a good Wallabies team. Joe Schmidt, obviously one of the best coaches to ever do it. I mean, he's revolutionized the game in Ireland with his coaching. Obviously taught Andy Farrell everything that he knows, right? Like this is a very, very good coach. I mean, look at the changes that he made in the All Blacks game when they needed him as well. I want the Wallabies to do very well. They deserve to finally get a break again. I mean, they've had a tough couple of months. Well, not couple of months, let's say past 2 years, where they've kind of been growing again now. And we saw them getting the fruits of their labor in the end of the year tour. So I'm backing the Lions to get it this weekend. Have you seen the Lions team? You've got Huey Pilotu. They've got those guys running in the centre pairing. Yeah, and it's deserved. Like on form, those two are the guys. No Owen Farrell, as far as I know. I don't think Owen Farrell's there. I can't even remember. But there's a massive loss for the Wallabies. No Rob Valentini out with a little niggle. So I've got the Lions to take it this weekend, and then the Wallabies to bag the final two. They're playing in Brisbane, where the Wallabies have never beaten the Lions. Never. But let's wrap it up. People, please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys, as always. Thank you for being with us, growing the channel. We promise to always be here with you guys, chatting just a bit of shit when it comes to rugby. As we mentioned, stay tuned for the in-person pod coming out, let's say middle next week, around about Wednesday. Yeah,